Every story begins with a heartbeat, and mine? They always end in a blush. I've written love in ink and fire. Now I want you to see it breathe. Welcome to Blush and Bloom Stories, where hearts find their voice. From the pages of my stories to the screen of your heart. 5 stories, 5 heartbeats, 1 channel. Enjoy watching.
Oh my gosh, he spilled my coffee. And somehow my whole plan for the day just went with it. I swear for a second, time just stopped. All I could see was the steam curling up and our hands almost touching.
That was definitely the worst first impression I could possibly made. But hey, it turned out to be the best second chance. We just started talking and didn't stop. We talked about everything from our worst dates to our epic fails at making breakfast like burnt toast. It was just so easy, and the way she laughed, it was like she already knew I'd be showing up at this exact same spot tomorrow, hoping to see her again.
You know, maybe love doesn't ask for permission. It just spills right into your life.
The city lights were a blur, painting watercolor streaks across the rain-slicked pavement. Twilight was falling, and a steady downpour had turned the bustling streets into a quiet, rhythmic dance of bobbing umbrellas. I was just trying to get home, wrestling with my own flimsy umbrella against a sudden gust of wind. It wasn't about finding shelter from the storm, ... But then I saw her. She stood right where I needed to be, bathed in the warm, inviting glow of a cafe window, a small island of calm in the beautiful chaos. The rain didn't seem to touch her, or maybe she just wore it better than anyone else. She looked up as I approached, a single umbrella held steady against the evening drizzle. There was this little smile playing on her lips, like she was in on a secret the rest of the world hadn't heard yet.
Oh.
Sometimes, the storm brings you the calm you didn't even know you were looking for. I found myself slowing down, my rush to get home completely forgotten. All I wanted was to get a little closer to that light. I finally managed to get my umbrella under control and stopped beside her. "Forecast," said Rain. I said, my voice a little louder than I intended over the sound of the downpour. It didn't say anything about meeting my sunshine, though. She laughed, a sound that was somehow warmer than the cafe's glow. She tilted her head, her eyes sparkling.
Well,
she replied, her tone playful and bright.
I guess the clouds just have good taste today.
In that moment, under the drumming rain, I knew this wasn't just another storm. Some storms are worth getting caught in.
Have you ever walked into a place 1,000 times, thinking you know every corner, every story it holds? For me, that place was The Last Page, a cozy little bookstore downtown. It was my sanctuary, filled with a scent of old paper and endless adventures. I never expected my own story to start there, especially not with a conflict over a worn-out copy of a classic. It happened on a rainy Tuesday. I was searching for a specific first edition, a book I'd been hunting for months. And there it was, tucked away on the highest shelf. As my fingers brushed against the faded spine, another hand closed over it at the exact same moment. My eyes followed the arm up to a face I'd never seen before. He had this smirk, like he knew he was about to be a problem. "Let go," I said, my voice a little firmer than I intended. He just raised an eyebrow.
"You first."
We stood there, locked in this ridiculous tug-of-war over a book. I listed all the academic reasons I needed it. He countered with how long he'd been searching for it for his grandfather. The argument was pointless, but neither of us would budge. Then, something shifted. A shared, exasperated sigh turned into a chuckle, and suddenly we were both laughing. It was in that moment, amidst the dust motes dancing in the afternoon light, that I realized he wasn't just annoying. There was something else there, a spark I couldn't ignore. He thought I was intense, a little too serious about literature. I thought he was infuriatingly charming. We ended up making a bet. Whoever could find another rare book in the store first would win the contested prize. The bet turned our rivalry into a shared adventure. We crawled on the floor, climbed rickety ladders, and whispered excitedly every time we thought we found a clue. The bookstore, once my solitary escape, became our playground. Later that week, we met up again, not for a competition, but just to talk. We found ourselves sitting on the floor in the poetry section, sharing stories that had nothing to do with books. As he read a passage aloud, his voice soft and steady, I watched the way his eyes lit up. He'd point to a line, and as I leaned in to see, our fingers would brush over the page. Each accidental touch felt like a chapter turning. She thought he was annoying, he thought she was adorable. It turns out love often finds you when you're looking for something else entirely. Love writes its own plot twist. We never did decide who won the bet. The book still sits on the shelf at the last page. Now it's not just a book. It's a bookmark in our story. It adds a reminder that sometimes the greatest love stories don't just start with a dramatic first glance, but with a stubborn argument and a shared laugh in a dusty old bookstore.
I used to think my mornings were just for me. A quiet cup of coffee, the city still sleepy below, and the first hints of light breaking over the horizon. It was my ritual, my silent start to the day. But lately, I'd been noticing him. Up on the rooftop across the way, a solitary figure against the dawn. He always watched the sunrise. I just never knew I was the reason. This morning, something felt different. I woke with a jolt, a feeling I couldn't shake. Drawn by an invisible string, I went to my window, and there he was. Just sitting, watching the sky paint itself in strokes of pink and gold. But then, he turned, and it felt like the sun wasn't rising over the city skyline, but right there, in his eyes. I couldn't help myself. I threw on a jacket, my heart thumping a strange new rhythm, and made my way to his rooftop. The breeze was gentle, carrying the scent of morning dew and possibilities. He smiled as I approached, a warm, knowing smile that made the cool air feel like a summer day.
Every morning, same sky,
He said, his voice soft, almost a whisper. He didn't look away from me.
different heartbeat.
I felt a blush creep up my neck. You really watch every sunrise? I asked, trying to sound casual, but my voice trembled slightly. He grinned, a playful spark in his eyes.
Only since you moved upstairs.
I laughed, the sound carried away by the wind that tousled his hair. It was all so simple, so unexpectedly sweet. We stood there for a moment, just smiling at each other as the city slowly woke up beneath us. There was no need for grand declarations or dramatic confessions. It was all there, in the shared silence, in the easy way his gaze met mine.
You make the morning worth waking up for.
He said softly, finally turning back to the now brilliant sun. A smile spread across my face, genuine and bright. Then don't sleep in. We both laughed, a shared, joyful sound that felt like the perfect harmony to the day's beginning. As the sun fully crested the buildings, it cast us in silhouette, two people who had found a new day together. Some promises, I realized, are made without a single word.
In the quiet hum of the studio, where light falls just so, a story unfolds not on canvas, but between two souls. He, an artist, finds his muse not in stillness, but in motion. She, a dancer, moves as if the air itself is her partner. With every charcoal stroke, he tries to capture the fleeting grace of her silhouette as she dances. You make everything look so effortless, he says, his eyes never leaving her form. She pauses, a soft smile playing on her lips. That's because you're watching. Their eyes meet across the room, and in that shared gaze, a universe of unspoken feelings sparks to life. His hands, stained with the colors of his craft, reach for hers. Sometimes, love isn't declared in grand speeches, but painted in stolen glances and the gentle touch of fingertips. As she tweedles a whirlwind of emotion, he's there to catch her mid-spin. Their laughter echoes, a perfect melody, and in that moment, you realize that with the right person, every fall becomes a dance.
5 stories, 1,000 heartbeats. One promise, love will always bloom. From my heart to yours. Welcome to Blush and Bloom Stories. Subscribe for more animated love stories.